All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the March 13th, 2026 absentee and regular board meeting. Call the meeting to order. Can we please rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we have an agenda here this morning. Everybody's had an opportunity to review it. Do I have any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next is the approval of the March 6th, 2026 minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes? Do I have any additions or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the March 6th, 2026 minutes?
So moved. Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we have now moved on to public comment. Is there any public comment? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Cynthia Singleton, and I really just wanted to thank Sharon and the elections office for just the support of the election on November 3rd. Moving ahead. On March 3rd. For the first time, I served as a chief judge at precinct 37A. Got to be on the other side of the election process, and things were just very, very well run. Had an opportunity to work with a good group of folks, and the support that was provided was just outstanding. So a lot of what gets done in Union County from an election standpoint, just the excellence. As in the past, I've had a chance to talk with other folks and still talk with other folks on other boards. This is just a very, very well run operation, and so really appreciate the opportunity to learn and the opportunity to serve.
Thank you so much for those comments. Any other comments? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the new business, which is the supplemental absentee ballots.
Yes, so today we have received 3 absentee ballots by mail. They are civilian ballots. They are not eligible to be counted because they are not here by the due date, which would be election day. I also wanted to let the board know, I know y'all looked at the envelopes, but I'm not sure how closely y'all looked at the envelopes, the exterior envelopes last week. And on the outside, it does tell them that it needs to be here by election night, 7:30 p.m. And if they put it in the mail, it has to still be here by election night. So these arrived yesterday, 1 yesterday and 2 the day before. So I have 3 to disapprove for the board today. I'll also have 4 forms here for y'all to sign because everything will be enforced today. Okay, and if the board would like to see them, we've got date stamps of March the 4th and as in the postal stamp, one with no postal stamp and one that had a printed stamp of February the 28th, but that was also like you print at home and it does not have a stamp from the state. Okay.
Anybody have any questions or want to review these? Take a quick look at these absentee ballots, and you said that there was no military or overseas.
No military or overseas, and then here's once the board makes a decision, it'll be all 4. So. There's 3. 2 of them have the envelopes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Separated, and 1 does not.
I'm jealous.
It's almost gone.
Once y'all have made a decision, yes. There's 4 sheets of the same thing.
And just sign one, sign off.
It's still here.
All right, having reviewed the 3 absentee ballots that were received after the deadline, do I have a motion to disapprove the 3 absentee ballots, civilian absentee ballots that were received after the statutory deadline?
So moved.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
That section.
I tried to silence my phone. I really did. I put it on do not disturb. Apparently it doesn't work.
Okay. We'll move on to the staff reports, Director Holloway.
Yes, if the board recalls, we had several petitions for unaffiliated candidates that wanted to appear on the ballot in November, and 2 were certified for Monroe Council. We have 4 that were not certified. I just wanted the board to be aware. of these. And you can see we did all of our work processing signatures. But what we have one candidate for Monroe mayor that required 330 signatures. We received 163 that were approved by the deadline, which was noon on the day of the primary. City council candidate that also required 330 signatures. They opened a petition. They never turned in any signatures. A candidate for Board of Education District 6 required 1,344 signatures. None were turned in. And another for Board of Education District 3 required 1,263. And those approved signatures were 819. So the deadline passed, and those 4 did not meet the requirement for their name to appear on the ballot in November. We had one other petition that was never filed. The voter wished to use their last name that was not their legal last name on the ballot. And I discussed this with counsel at the state, legal counsel, and we asked for confirmation that that last name had been changed, and we never received that. And then it was stated that it was a nickname. They wanted to use nickname. A candidate can use a nickname on the ballot, but not as their last name. So this petition was never opened because of that legal issue.
Be aware of that?
Yes, we've had several phone calls, and we have written correspondence with all this information through emails. So the voter is aware, had correspondence with our office and with state and the state legal counsel. So they are aware. And we're given several opportunities to provide evidence of that name change.
Or alternatively, use their legal name.
Exactly. Yeah, they were made aware that they could use, could move forward with their current legal name.
But that would
They
not have
chose-
matched what was on the petition.
Yeah, they wanted their name to appear on the ballot with a different last name.
Okay.
But they were aware of that option. They could move forward with their legal name, but they chose not to. And the other thing, the recount was held on Wednesday, this past Wednesday at 11 for Monroe City Council candidates, Gary Anderson and Heidi Peterson. All board members were present. Thank you. The counting was completed by bipartisan teams, and there were no changes in the results. Peterson stayed at 939 and Anderson at 935. Since this was a vote for 3 contests, and the top 3 candidates received a substantial plurality, so there will be no second primary.
And I know that there was a question from one of the candidates as to whether a second primary, and they were advised as to the statutory requirements in order to hold the secondary primary.
Yes, and then I also have an email where I had advised the candidate as well with that breakdown and the calculation for the substantial plurality.
Regarding the petitions for unaffiliated, independent, whatever proper terminology is, I've had some inquiries about candidates that apparently wanted to appear on the ballot, but didn't make the signature requirement, and now they're interested in being a write-in. Is there any procedure for that for them?
Yeah, there's a separate petition process for a write-in candidate, and I've had several requests for that also. That signature requirement is less, and then the deadline, I believe, is July. It's in July. I'm not certain of the date.
But it's fewer
But I haven't had,
signatures.
yes, I haven't had anyone open a petition yet as a
Okay.
write-in candidate. And anyone that asks, just so they're clear, their name will not appear on the ballot. It's only a line if they're qualified as a write-in, a line is added where a voter can write their name in. They have to write their name in and circle that little bubble beside. But they would qualify with the petition and we would be able to count votes for that candidate.
Okay. What is the, just a rough guess about what the number of signatures for that petition relative to
Yeah,
have an official?
I'd rather not say because it may be different for different districts and I don't want to give
Okay,
incorrect information.
okay,
But I can check and send an email to the board.
okay. Thank you. I told him to call Board of Elections.
And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Voter registration, Ms. Meadows.
Yes, I will be reporting the voter registration for February. Total registrations for the end of February is 182,652. 161,827 were active registrations. 20,825 were inactive registrations. Registrations removed was 1,696. 471 registrations were removed. Out of those, 47 registrations were inactive. New registrations, 853. Duplicate registrations, which means they did not change any information but sent a registration in, was 1,504. Changes of information was 1,050. Verifications, 2,931 first and second verification mailings were sent to the voters. 1,831 first verifications were returned undelivered. 53 verifications were returned by the voter. Confirmations, 4 confirmations were returned by the voter, 1,692 confirmations were mailed out. The next sections are the county stats by party, race, ethnicity, and gender. The next report are the party changes. 359 party changes were made in February. And on the left is the original party, on the right is the new party. And of course, you have your totals. The statistical report, we're still growing as a county. From January to February, we gained 374 registrations. NCOA, National Change of Address Mailings. We have received back, processed 402 out of the 2,049. 18 were undeliverable without a forwarding address. 132 were moved to another county within the state. 99 were moved to another state. 151 were removed or processed within the county. 2 were deceased, reported by near relative. That's 402 national change of address mailings that we've processed. Any questions?
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
On the verifications,
Yes, sir.
when they've been sent out, and it looks like most of them are returned undeliverable.
Yes.
What's the next step?
Okay, when they come back, if they don't have a forwarding address, we'll scan it in and send them confirmation. So they'll try the confirmation. We'll send it back to the address that we had previously. If they have a forwarding address, we'll send it to that address.
But after you ask them twice, are they then put up for?
Well, if it's a new registrations and we send 2 mailings, they're denied. They didn't make it
They
through the
didn't get a good
process.
registration.
Right, and if it's in existing, we send it to an address if they have one, forward an address. But if they don't, 30 days, they'll go inactive.
Inactive, okay. All right, that's it. Thank you.
You-
Any other questions for Ms. Meadows? Thank you, Ms. Meadows, for that detailed report as always. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to financial report, Ms. Raves.
Good morning. So in your documents, you'll have the administration budget and the elections budget. We are still under budget. We have spent 63% of the administration budget and 34% of the elections budget. The elections budget is only through the end of February, so it doesn't have the total cost what we've spent for the election. February doesn't show what we used for the any credit card charges that we might have, any credit card charges from February. So it does not include the cost of the ballots, the coding, the delivery for the voting equipment. It does not include the last payroll for early voting or the payments for the election day staff or the office overtime. That'll be shown on the next month's report. Okay, that's why that 34% is still so low. We still have a lot of money in there. Okay.
Ballpark, what are you looking at as far as the election day? How much is that going to bump up that 34%?
I have that number for you. 225, approximately 225 will be taken out for election day and the last week of early voting and office staff hours also. And then another 15,000 for overtime for the office staff overtime. The next two pages is what we turned in for the proposed budget for fiscal year 27. The first one is the administration costs. The items that are highlighted in blue are the ones that we have no control over. The county puts those numbers in for us. The ones that are not highlighted is what we turned in for the proposed budget for 27, for fiscal year 27. For the incentives, we hope that we have one employee that might sit for the state certification. So we did include an incentive payment in there in case they decide to take that exam. We already have 6 in the office that are certified. Another item on here that is $27,000 for the printing and office supplies. I increased that amount from 24 to 27 after discussing the costs that have gone up in printing for voter cards. The cost for the printing, we get charged any print that we do in color, or if we use the printer that we lease, we get charged for that for each copy. That has gone up also. We also budgeted for any travel or education expenses. We have several in here that are states that are certified and they have to continue going to the conferences at least one conference a year to keep their certifications. For the maintenance and repairs equipment, we have some maintenance agreements to keep our tabulator, no, I'm sorry, not the tabulator, our tabber. They come in and maintenance it, make sure it keeps running. We also have a maintenance agreement for our postage machine. They also come and check and make sure that it continues to run properly. The maintenance agreements for the computer software, we have our own website and we pay for the hosting ourselves. We also have some online software that we use, so we pretty much use that full amount. We went from 15,500 to 10,000 on that one because we're going to be paying some other software from the budgets. From the election budget. So that money got moved over to that budget. We also have a contract for shredding. That amount stayed about the same, it just went up $100. And the dues and memberships, that went up another $500 because we did have two employees that got their other certification, and they will have to pay their annual dues for that also to keep their membership. In the elections budget, we did ask for 60,000 for the overtime, for the staff overtime. The salaries for the temps for November, we budgeted for one election in November. If we open all 9 early voting sites and we staff every precinct the way that we want to, unfortunately, there are some elections that we can't get enough staffing out there, but if we staff everyone, this is what we expect to spend for the seasonal employees, the 582,000. For printing and office supplies, we received 145,000 for this last election. For this last fiscal year, but it was for 2 elections. This one will be for 1 election, but because it is a larger election, the general election in November, we think that 150 would be a better number for all the ballots that we will be printing and the toners will be replacing. Also, we'll be spending money on the training manuals, early voting envelopes that we have to get to send out, the absentee ballots. We also asked for additional funding for the computer software. That is the voting equipment software that we use. We also have an online training software that we started using this year. We do our own videos here for training, and we got this software to hopefully help with the election day and early voting classes to not be as long as they used to be, where they can do some training online, and hopefully the classes will be not as long. And the training software, the seasonal employees can go back and refer to these videos also anytime they want to refresh their memory on a process. Professional services, that cost did go down from 61 to 35,000 since it's just the 1 election. We'll have a delivery for early voting and the delivery and pickup for election day. We also pay for the coding for the ballots, so that is also paid from that line item. The rental of real property, that's all the precincts that we pay on election day. We also have contracts for early voting. We have 2 contracts for parking at Newtown and at Wesley Chapel. And the last one is the rental of equipment. We have to get portable restrooms to put out at early voting sites. So people will have a place to go to, because they're not allowed to go into the early voting sites to use the restrooms at some of the locations. There's no other option than that. And that is all I have, unless you have some questions for me.
Doing the math, it looks like the proposed budget is going to be less than the current budget. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Looks like, yeah, I'm not a mathematician, but we're looking at about $3,000 less. Is that right?
We actually kept everything, we just moved a little bit around. The numbers should be about the same. I think the difference that you might not see is the amounts that they put in, like for taxes or for retirement, that's included in the budget that you see now. But we didn't take anything out. We left it in there, we just moved it around.
But by far the largest amount, of course, is the salary and wages, at least in the administration costs, and that's blue, so you're saying that's county. So the county sets some kind of everybody's considered a county employee, and they say they're gonna give raises of some percent. That's how that works?
That's how that works, yes,
And then
sir.
all the other stuff kind of follows, as workers' comp and
Yes.
FICA contributions.
Mhm.
So, for 2027, it's just municipal elections, right?
2027 is the general election. And I'm sorry. So the way the fiscal year is, in July, our fiscal year is from July 1 through June 30th. So that's what they call fiscal year 27. So we'll still be in the year 2026 for November. That's our general election. And then we won't have anything from January 1st through June 30th.
Okay, so
But we'll still
really
be
what's
in
in
that
here is a
fiscal year.
general election,
Yes.
and then the following year will be the way the budget cycle works, it'll be the municipal.
Yes, but that'll be in fiscal year 28.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So the deadline to turn our budget in was, originally it was January 30th, because of all the bad weather that we had. They extended that one more week. But we had ours in that Friday because we thought it was due that day. But we had it done. The next step would be for the management team to review it. And that's the county manager and his team. And then they will present it to the county commissioners on June 1st. We have not heard anything from them. They haven't asked us any questions about our budget. But we can let you know if they do reach out to us. I'm sorry, Kristen has a comment.
I wanted you to explain about the enhancement request about the vehicle.
Oh, okay. We also have an opportunity to ask for anything additionally that we don't already have. We did request one truck. We did get a trailer from some grant money that we received. And the grant money was used to purchase a trailer that can hopefully be used in the event of an emergency where they have to take out equipment and set up a voting site outside of that precinct. They'll be able to do that, but we have to have a vehicle to pull that trailer. Right now, we're having to use another county vehicle to do that, or the assistance of the fire department if we have to. So we did request a truck. I don't know if we'll get it or not, but it's out there.
Otherwise, you have to request the county provide that truck for you to move out that trailer.
That's
if need
correct.
be.
Yes, sir. Yeah. We do have one county vehicle already, but as Philip has probably mentioned to you, that it's not equipped to pull that weight. It would be too dangerous for us to try to pull it and then have to break.
Yeah, it's an 8.5 by 24 trailer, so it's considerably heavy and it has brakes on it and everything. But the car that we have is a Durango and it is not equipped. You really need a heavy duty like F-250 or a Chevy HD to pull.
The heavy duty transmission and the.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, we really need an additional vehicle anyway, because every election we have to go get additional cars from the county garage to use. And the availability of those has been kind of slim at times, and we really could use a truck anyway, because we haul stuff out to early voting sites and election sites that would be easier to put in the back of a pickup truck than our Durango. So that was the request, was for a truck to pull the trailer and to be used the rest of the year as well. So
Where would it be stored when not used?
the truck would just be here with our other county car. The trailer is currently parked in the loading dock, and it's going to be there for the foreseeable future because I returned the truck I used to back it into the loading dock. So that's where that's at, and we hope to. I hope to be able to store it over at the Progress Building, which is a big warehouse that the county has, so we could keep it inside. But I haven't heard back if they have space for it over there. So if not, it'll stay here with us. So, but
You've made that request?
I have, yeah, and I'll follow up on it. And we're gonna do some setup training with it anyway. So it's good to have it here. We're gonna set it up like we would if we had to use it. So we'll have pictures and guides how everything would go. We did get it just in time for this election. It has, voting booths and generators and stuff in it. Thankfully, didn't have to use it because we haven't really practiced with it yet. So, but we're really hoping to get a truck. Just like I say, we need it for a couple of reasons, a couple of purposes.
But we, based on my conversation last week, I'm a big advocate for having a truck available when you need it. You
Yeah.
not have a truck.
Actually, in this election, I called the county garage who does all the fleet services, and I said, "Hey, I've got a trailer. Do you guys have a truck?" And they didn't. They usually don't have any trucks, but they kept a older heavy duty truck that was like a water facilities or something. And they said, "Well, we've got one," but they had to get a tag put on it and everything. But it is has a service body on it, and it has been well used. So it's not one that we would be like to use, I would say. They just kept it for situations, I guess, where if one of the other departments like water or facilities, if one of their trucks goes out, they can have that as a spare. So otherwise we would have to work with emergency management. But there's no guarantee, what's going on with them that they could help us out. So it's just best that we have our own capabilities here in our department, that we're self-sufficient to carry it. So
I have another question. And we were planning for the trailer for an emergency voting site. So when we asked for our original vehicle, we had requested a larger, more powerful vehicle to be able to pull that trailer, but it was downgraded by the county and we received the Durango. So now that's the reason we're asking for a second vehicle.
yeah, so we have, if you've seen, we have the smaller trailer over there, and we use that every election to move equipment around. But the plan was, we requested the original vehicle. I wanted something with a good towing capacity so we could get a bigger trailer like we have, and we ended up getting the Durango. So, and it didn't even have a hitch on it, so we had to have that put on it. But hopefully this time we will get a vehicle that we can utilize. That'd be best.
So, how would you power that remote traveling polling location?
So, I worked with the company that we got it from, and it's all finished inside. And it has, outlets, it has lights inside, it has heat, it has AC, it has an external generator hookup. So, we're probably gonna have to get a little bit larger generator, but right now we have two that you can parallel together and pretty much run, everything you need to run inside. So it's set up very nicely, and I don't think anybody else in the state has anything like this to use. There's a vendor that has what they call a mobile voting precinct, which is basically a big RV that you can rent out if you have an emergency. I don't know what they charge for that, but I would say we probably purchased this trailer for less than what they would charge for one time to use that mobile.
Well, I
voting.
would think there'd be kind of a limited usage, you know?
Yeah, but
Yeah, and then you have to kind of know ahead of time that you're having an emergency.
right, you can't just call them and say, hey, can you bring this right now? So
Yeah,
no, yeah. So and that's the other thing is if we have it here, it's set up, it's ready to go, hooked up to a truck on election morning. If something happens overnight, a precinct burns down, there's a gas leak, even if we're just locked out of the building, we can't get in there. We can roll that over there, get it up and going, and hopefully not have to go to the state board and say, hey, we need to extend voting because we're closed for hours. So that's the
I'm impressed.
I was very impressed with the generator thing that I think used, a year ago.
yeah, that was at
When
precinct
there was a
12.
thunderstorm, yeah.
Yeah, it was precinct
And
12.
took out the power.
Yeah, and we have a couple more of those now. After that, we've got 5 or 6 of those, and we also have big battery backups, eco flows that you can pull into anywhere, and you don't have to worry about gas, and they can actually run a site for a good while. So we've really worked on our continuity of operations as far as elections go. And this trailer's an important part of that. But to complete that part of the puzzle, we need the truck to get it there and to use the rest of the year for other stuff as well. So that's what our request is.
Is there, and I'm not, use the imagination saying go ahead and do it, but has there been any thought given to any type of interlocal agreement with surrounding counties for the use of that trail?
There hasn't, because we haven't really, I mean, like I say, we got it right before, or maybe it was right before early voting started, because I was not able to go pick it up. Actually, I had to have somebody pick it up. And we still want to work out stocking the inside of it with everything that we need. And like I say, doing like a mock use of it. It needs to be labeled. We need our logo on it. So we need to go through all that stuff before we say, hey, if you guys have a need or anything. But the problem with that is,
You're using it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
anything
yeah.
happens on that.
yeah, if something happens the same day, so that's the.
One of the other thoughts I had was, possibly not during election, but during periods of time that, it's sitting there. Perhaps a use for other counties to see, or, to kind of get an idea of whether it would be important for them to
Yeah.
invest in that.
Yeah, we would definitely be willing to show it to other counties and, show them what we have, take any input or anything that they say, hey, it might work better this way or that way. So
Of course, for a
that's,
small fee, I hope.
what's that?
So of course, for a small fee, I hope.
No, of course. But no, we'll do that. And we were just excited when the opportunity came forward, because we've been wanting to do this for a couple of years. And then when we were contacted by emergency management, they said, we have some grant money for you. And I said, how much? And they told me, I said, well, we want a trailer. That's what we've been wanting to get. They said, how are you going to pull it? I said, don't worry about that. We'll get the trailer, we'll figure out the truck. So that's where we're at with it. So it's a very nice trailer. So hopefully we don't have to use it. But that's the same outlook you have on any emergency operations. you know, you have to prepare for it and hope you don't have to use it, but be ready to use it if you need it, so.
Is it possible you could, if the county fails, you could go to the state and look for some grant money on relative to doing this? And they might be, you said nobody else has this, I think that's what you said, that you're aware of.
Yeah, I don't know,
And, I mean, that would seem to be a best practice type thing that they would be interested in, but
there's certain restrictions now on grants and funds that can be given to elections. So I don't know if that would happen or not, but it's a possibility. Hopefully we won't have to go that far. Hopefully we can just get a vehicle through the county. So
Well, if it's permissible and you need one in the interim, I know somebody who's with a big old 350 dually who will gladly tow that
well, yeah,
in an emergency.
yeah, you know, you got the whole liability.
Yeah, I know, the whole
Insurance and
liability
all that.
thing, appearances.
Yeah, so
But like I'm saying,
yeah, I appreciate that, but like if something happens, you know,
yeah,
could
big
get into
deal.
a mess. So
So this is just like trial and error, see how it work out on this end and then maybe expand it?
I don't know if we need to expand really. I mean, we've got one. I don't see we need two of them, but we just need a vehicle to tow it with because right now we can't take it anywhere. So it's
Everyone won't have access to it really, because I've seen the cars and stuff at the grocery store and everywhere.
no, it's only going to be for us for our usage. Yeah, it's this department exclusively. It's not a county.
If it's logoed with Board of Elections, Union County Board of Elections,
Yeah,
that
you don't
sort of
wanna-
precludes.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to use it for anything else.
That's the other thing about showing it to other counties too.
And we're looking into using it for outreach also.
I was gonna say, it's
Outreach
a good
events.
educational tool too.
Yes.
That sounds like a really good idea, and of course, you do have to logo it so people don't think they're voting at some fly-by-night fake voting location.
Yeah, and like I said, it would only be used at a location that's already a voting place or a precinct. I know, you know, there's some states and around the country where they actually have what they call mobile early voting sites where they take something like this, because there's other states that have these, but they'll set up in a parking lot somewhere for a day or two, and they'll have an early voting site there, and then they'll move to another spot, have a different early voting site. But you can't do that in North Carolina because the law's clear, you know, and we would want to do that anyway. That's a big logistical feat. So I wouldn't want to take that on.
If we're done with, I got a separate question if we're done with that.
Yeah.
My separate question is how the process for replacing equipment, voting equipment, computers, everything, how that works in context of the budget, because we're not budgeting for that as such.
Actually, we do have money in our budget now, in this fiscal year, to replace any printers, to do maintenance on equipment also.
I see maintenance in there, that's why I was.
But we do have money in tools and supplies.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna use that money to buy additional barcode scanners and any printers that fill up things that we need to replace from the warehouse. With the upgrade that we received, we can now use the new printers, is that correct?
Yeah, a new the Oki printers that we have for the ballot on demand systems, they're not really being made anymore, but we can now get Brother printers. So we had to have the software updated, just a printer driver basically put on those units. As far as the upgrade process for voting equipment, there's really nothing else for us to upgrade to until the state approves the new hard equipment. They have a whole new slate, next generation of equipment, and I'm sure we probably will definitely be interested in getting that. Our current equipment is, at the end of this year, it'll be about 6 years old. You can look to get about 10 years out of your voting equipment, so we're about 60% usage on it. So we will, in the next a couple of years, be definitely looking at upgrading, and it'll be here sooner than you think, because it's a process to go through to get new voting equipment. It's not just, we call them up and, hey, we're gonna buy this. There's a whole process that you have to go through with the state, where you have demonstrations and you have to test it out during an election, and there's, so the commissioners have to approve of it as well, of that voting system. That's in the statute. So it's a pretty big process, but we'll be starting that in a couple of years, because we'll need to move on to the next generation of equipment.
I would hope to see it in a odd year rather than particularly in 2 years, we've got the big election again.
Well, you would hope so, but we received it in January of 2020 and rolled it out for that primary. I mean, it was a quick turnaround, but we had to, because our previous equipment was decertified. We had no choice, and we rolled it out, and everything worked great. It was a learning process, but sometimes that's how it goes.
But what you're really waiting on is the state has to
Right.
do its thing here at this point in time.
Right. It's been the hard equipment is actually already certified by the EAC, Elections Assistance Commission. So it's federally certified, but the state requires it to go through their own certification process. And then we can't even, I don't know that the voting equipment vendor can even show it to us or anything until it starts that process. So they can't even bring it to like a conference and say, hey, this is our next generation of equipment. But we've seen pictures and videos of it. It looks to be very nice. It looks to be more compact, lighter, but similar to what we have. Just a better, newer generation, I think, with more security features and it's always a constant process of keeping up and improving. So
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Reyes on the financial reports? All right, thank you very much for your report. Obviously, let us know if there's any feedback from the county on the proposed budget, any concerns that they raised, so that we can be aware of it and maybe go advocate for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on. I'm gonna ask for a motion to go into closed session pursuant to MCGS 143-318.11.6. Ask a motion to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial appointment of an individual public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee. Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
okay, we're back.
We back out of closed session. Do I have a motion to approve the decision made in closed session?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Frank, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, now we are on to, is there any discussion for the good of the order?
For the good of the order, I want to say congratulations to our staff for a very well-run, primary. This being my first primary as a board member, I was really impressed and can't thank the staff enough. Please make sure that's in the record. Y'all did a great job. You really did.
Any other comments? I echo Michelle's statements and thank you all for all you did during this period of time.
Mr. Chairman, do we have a schedule for the next meetings?
Yes, we'll begin to go to the canvas meeting beginning at 11 a.m.
And I'm talking about ongoing
Oh,
next month and.
Yeah, actually, we still meet on the second of every month.
Second Tuesday at
Right.
4.
So
Second
what,
Tuesday.
actually, I have a conflict on that second Tuesday, the 16th. Is there any, is it the 16th of April? It's the 14th of April. Is there any objection to moving that April meeting either to the 13th or the 15th?
I'd rather, personally, the 15th is a Wednesday?
Yes, ma'am.
Personally, I'd rather do it on the Monday.
Anybody else?
Monday's fine, the Monday.
Monday, the 13th?
Monday.
And
Okay.
it should be short. I don't
So it's
know
Monday.
at this time of any new business.
Okay, so it should be a short one, just have some reports from the staff. So it should be a short one. So Monday, the 13th will be the next meeting.
Okay.
And you'll send us out an agenda and a reminder during the morning, so.
And at
At 5 p.m.
5?
Yes.
At 5.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So next board meeting will be held on April 13th at 5 p.m. All right. Can I have a motion to approve that change in the meeting time and date?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Canvas meeting will begin at 11.
Okay, we have snacks for you in the kitchen.
Hallelujah.
Snacks in the kitchen.